NFL suspends Vikings quarterback Jordan Addison 3 games. Impact on 2025 season team. In a bold move that has sent shockwaves throughout the National Football League, the Minnesota Vikings star wide receiver Jordan Addison has been slapped with a 3-game suspension for the opening weeks of the 2025 season. The NFL made the announcement on Tuesday, citing violations of the league's strict substance abuse policy as the reason behind the decision. But here's where it gets controversial. Addison had recently settled a 2024 DUI case by pleading no contest to a lesser charge in July. This resolution, however, wasn't enough to spare him from the consequences of his actions. As part of his punishment, Addison will be barred from stepping foot into the team facility for 3 weeks once the regular season kicks off. Despite the setback, Addison will still be able to take part in all training camp activities and preseason games without any restrictions. Drafted in the first round from USC in 2023, Addison has quickly established himself as a force to be reckoned with on the field. In just 2 seasons with the Vikings, he's racked up an impressive 133 receptions for 1,786 yards and 19 touchdowns. Although he hasn't quite reached the 1,000-yard mark in a single season, Addison has proven to be a valuable asset as the number 2 wide receiver. Playing alongside the sensational Justin Jefferson, and this is the part most people miss. The Vikings offense, which is set to welcome a new starting quarterback in 2024 first-rounder J.J. McCarthy, will now face the daunting task of navigating the early weeks of the 2025 season without one of its key playmakers. Can the team find a way to keep the momentum going in Addison's absence? Only time will tell. What do you think about the NFL's decision to suspend Jordan Addison? Is the punishment fair, or does it seem too harsh? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. NFL suspends Jordan Addison for 3 games. Impact on Vikings J.J. McCarthy's debut. The NFL just sent shockwaves through the football world with a disciplinary decision that could reshake the Vikings season. Minnesota's rising star, Jordan Addison, has been slapped with a 3-game suspension for violating the league's substance abuse policy. A punishment that leaves fans questioning, when do second chances collide with accountability? Here's what every football fan needs to know. The suspension stems from Addison's June plea deal, where he admitted to a wet, reckless driving charge, a reduced offense from the original DUI accusation that still carries serious consequences. While the 21-year-old receiver avoids jail time through fines and mandatory online courses, the NFL swiftly delivered its own verdict. He'll miss critical early matchups against the Bears, Falcons, and Bengals, games that could define Minnesota's playoff trajectory. But here's where it gets controversial. Addison remains eligible for preseason games and training camp activities. This partial punishment raises eyebrows among analysts. Should players facing substance abuse violations be allowed any game participation? The league's policy walks a tightrope between rehabilitation and deterrence, leaving fans divided. The timing couldn't be worse for Minnesota. While superstar Justin Jefferson's hamstring injury reportedly won't affect his Week 1 status, team officials insist they're cautiously optimistic. The Vikings now face a nightmare scenario. Rookie quarterback J.J. McCarthy might debut with both his top receivers suspended and his WR1 potentially limited. Imagine a Broadway actor performing without their lead cast. This situation forces us to ask uncomfortable questions. Do NFL discipline policies truly prioritize player safety and accountability, or are they merely damage control PR moves? Where's the line between supporting young athletes through mistakes and enabling reckless behavior? We want to hear from you. Does a 3-game suspension for a substance policy violation strike the right balance? Should teams bear more responsibility for player conduct? Sound off in the comments. Let's settle this like rival fans at a tailgate party. Vikings wide receiver depth chart. Who steps up after Jordan Addison's suspension? 2025 NFL season analysis. Season opener shakeup. Vikings face uncertainty without star receiver Jordan Addison. The Minnesota Vikings are bracing for a challenging start to the 2025 NFL season, as they'll be without one of their top two wide receivers, Jordan Addison, for the first 3 games. The NFL's recent announcement of Addison's suspension, stemming from a 2024 driving under the influence incident, has sent ripples through the team's receiving core. The void left by Addison's suspension. With Addison sidelined, a temporary gap opens opposite the incomparable Justin Jefferson. But here's where it gets intriguing. Who will step up to fill the void and potentially carve out a more permanent role for themselves? Meet the contenders, Vikings wide receiver depth chart. While the Vikings haven't officially released their Week 1 preseason depth chart ahead of the matchup against the Houston Texans, we can make some educated guesses based on last season's holdovers. Here's a peek at the top 5 projected receivers. 1. Justin Jefferson, starter. 2. Jordan Addison, starter, suspended for first 3 games. 3. Jalen Nailor, starter. 4. Rondale Moore. 5. Ty Felton, the likely beneficiary. Nailor, the Vikings' number 3 receiver, is poised to see a significant increase in opportunities with Addison out. In weeks 2 and 3 of the 2024 season, when Addison was sidelined with an ankle injury, Nailor played 104 out of 117 possible snaps, logging 6 catches for 85 yards and 2 touchdowns. This production could grant him flex appeal in fantasy football formats. But will the Vikings' potential shift to a run-heavy offense, easing in first-year starter J.J. McCarthy, cap Nailor's ceiling? Dark horse candidates, Rondale Moore and Ty Felton. Among the backups, Rondale Moore is well-positioned to assume a larger role during Addison's absence. Despite missing the entire 2024 season due to a knee injury, Moore's 530 scrimmage yards in the 2023 season demonstrate his capabilities. Alternatively, the Vikings might opt for Ty Felton, a 6'2" rookie, to provide a size advantage over the 5'7" Moore. Roster implications. Who might benefit from Addison's suspension? The Vikings carried 6 receivers into Week 1 last season, so Addison's suspension could pave the way for 2 additional depth receivers to secure roster spots. Keep an eye on practice squad holdovers Lucky Jackson, Jashawn Jones, and Thayer Thomas, as well as newcomers Silas Bolden, Dante Fleming, Tin Jones, Robert Lewis, and Miles Price. Now it's your turn. Do you think Jalen Nailor will capitalize on the increased opportunities, or will the Vikings offense take a different approach? Should Rondale Moore be the first choice to fill the temporary void, or does Ty Felton's size offer a more compelling argument? Share your thoughts in the comments below.